Hey guys, it's Justin. I apologize for not having a video last week. I ended up having a little bit of minor surgery on my forehead, so that's why I have this nasty, ugly scar right now. Everything's fine, but I'm just gonna be living with this for the next 3 months, and it's not even a cool scar like a Harry Potter scar. It's just like gross and straight across and lumpy and weird, so you're gonna have to deal with it too. You guys asked me a lot of really hilarious and somewhat perverted questions with hashtag #AskJustinLiv over the past week. And I chose some of my favorites, and I'm gonna answer them for you today. So Mufaro asks, smoothie or milkshakes? And that's a really tough question because I love both, but I would probably have to say milkshakes because I have a major sweet tooth, and I really love chocolate milkshakes. It's so boring, it's like such a boring answer, but I mean, you can't beat chocolate milkshakes. Mature May, with 2 backslashes exams, because sure, asks, favorite Disney movie? My favorite, absolute favorite Disney movie of all time is probably not one that you've seen. It's called Bedknobs and Broomsticks, and it's with Angela Lansbury, and it's so amazing. It was one of those like old like 60s or 70s movies that Disney did where it was like part cartoon and part real life. But it's about witches, and I love like witchcraft stuff because, you know, duh. But if I had to go with like traditional animated Disney movies, then it would be The Little Mermaid or Aladdin. Actually, probably Aladdin. I wanted to be Aladdin so bad. Michael S. asks, what's the scariest thing you've ever done? I would have to say probably the moment that I was most frightened was when I first started driving, and my parents, I had my learner's permit or whatever it's called, and my parents had to be in the car with me. And it was the first time that I got on the highway, and I remember my heart was beating out of my chest. And I think just with my parents both talking to me at the same time, my stepdad from the back seat, my mom from the front seat, and like I'm trying to drive and I'm about to get on the highway and I went up the wrong ramp. So I was going up the ramp, people were coming down, and my parents were screaming and I was screaming, and I think I got as close to a heart attack at that moment than I've ever been in my life. But then I obviously learned to drive. I was still a terrible driver, but I could drive. So Sucrete asks, as an internet boy traveling the world doing cool projects with cool people, does it ever get overwhelming? 100% it does. There's some days I just don't want to do anything. I don't want to put a new blog post up. I don't want to make a video. But I know that there's also days where you're having a really bad day and maybe my video or my post would help, so I want to always make sure that I'm there like helping you guys as well. So Jean asks, who was the last person you texted and what was it? Well, Jean, we are gonna go find out. I texted, awesome, my friend Serena a picture of a cat, because that's the type of good friend that I am. I just send cat photos and cat emojis mostly. Jacinta asked me, can you lick your elbow? That is a super odd question, Jacinta, but I will certainly try. And I actually think this is an impossible thing to do. I think I know that it's an impossible thing to do, but no, I literally can't. I mean, like I can see myself, I'm like looking like an idiot. So Jacinta, no, I cannot lick my elbow, unfortunately. Humberto Nunez asked me, what is something that can make you go from super sad to really happy? Well, funny thing, I actually don't get sad that often, but when I do, I have this memory of my best friend from high school falling down a flight of stairs, which sounds like I'm a bad friend, but just hear me out for a second. She fell down a flight of stairs, it was like maybe 6 or 7 stairs, and the back of her dress came up. She fell forward, and the back of her dress came up, and it got stuck on the zipper, and so she couldn't get it back down. So she's standing in like the senior hallway with her skirt literally showing her panties and her back and her butt, and it was so funny that it's like this movie clip that I replay in my head when I'm really upset. It works every time, it's like medicine. So if you're super sad, Humberto, think of like a really horrible fail from one of your friends and just replay it in your head because it'll make you feel better about yourself, I promise. Sophia asks me, what is your favorite accent in the world? And it is my biggest disappointment that I was not born in England or Australia, because I think British and Australian accents are pretty much the coolest, and everything sounds way better in a British or Australian accent. Like if I said, oh my God, I shit my pants. People were like, that's disgusting, get the hell away from me. But if you say it in a British accent, you're like, oh my God, I've shit my pants. Everyone thinks it's so cute. Like imagine Adele saying that and you're like, oh my God, what? Aw. I'm Southern and I have like a pretty thick drawl sometimes, so I basically can't get away with anything. Catherine asked me, which emoji describes your current mood? I'd probably say the nails painting emoji because most of the time I just don't have time for bullshit, so I'm like, okay, goodbye. Ashley asks me, funny poop experience. And Ashley, I certainly have many of those because I'm a very embarrassing person, but the most embarrassing was, and I'm sure this has happened to very many people, I was at my friend's house when I was in high school and I used the bathroom directly off of the TV room where we're with friends watching TV, and I take a load off and do not realize that it's a waterless toilet. The toilet does not work. So not only did I crap into a toilet that doesn't have any water in it, I have no means of disposing of it. So I had to like come out with like the guiltiest face on and be like, I need some help. And my friend had to go get a plastic grocery bag and help me get my own poop out of the toilet. It was pretty embarrassing, I'm not gonna lie. I was mortified, but what can you do? Poop is poop, everybody poops. Jacob asks, have you ever Googled yourself? I have, and I feel like when you Google yourself, it never ends up being like a positive experience. So probably the last time I did it was more than a year ago, and I'm A-okay with that. I don't even know if I want to see what happens when you Google Justin Livingston. Probably some dirty, nasty stuff. Joe Getting asked, if you could do a YouTube collab with anyone, who would it be and why? I have a few friends on YouTube and I think it'd be really fun to do collabs with any of them, but someone that I don't know but I've watched all of her videos is Bunny Meyer, whose YouTube is Graveyard Girl. I think she's so funny and so chipper, and you know, as a fellow Southerner, you know, she's a swamp thing like me. I feel like we would just have a really good time together. We could go to Sonic and get Route 64 drinks and conies and cheesy tots and have just an awesome old time. Lynette asks, what's your best fashion advice? Well, I would probably say it's dress for yourself. Don't ever dress for anyone else. Because at the end of the day, your opinion's all that matters, and as long as you think you look good, you look good. So rock it, be confident. Logan Cole asks, who do you look up to as a role model? I would have to say my mom. She's a pretty kick-ass lady, and she's funny, and she's strong, just a strong person. She's logical. I really trust her advice when she gives me advice, so hi Mom, I love you. Johnny asks, what are your top tips / rules you live by for blogging? Well, Johnny, I would say only write about the things that make you happy. So if you really love food or fashion or music, write about that. Because the happier you are with what you're writing about, the more the content will just freely flow from you. And also your readers will be able to identify your passion for it and will keep coming back for more. So I think write about what makes you happy. That's the best and number one tip that I have for you. Well guys, that's all the answers that I have for you guys today. So thanks for asking so many amazing questions and a few perverted ones. You guys know who you are. If you have any more questions, you can ask me with hashtag AskJustinLiv on Twitter. And hello, let's be best friends. Follow me on social, I'll link it all down below. Can't wait to chat with you guys. Until next time, stay stylish. Bye guys.